Hello, folks. This is Dark Side of the Kitchen, Heat and Hierarchy, the Unspoken Rules of the Kitchen. I'm Noel King, and welcome all you culinary gangsters to the latest episode. Now, I've seen the unwritten rules and across different social media. They go from 5 golden rules. I've seen up to 26 kitchen rules that are unspoken that you should know. So I'm going to give you my top 10. These are the unspoken rules of a kitchen. Because there's an order to a real kitchen. You won't find it in a handbook. You won't learn it in culinary school. It's a code. It's passed from chef to chef, from service to service. It was forged in the heat and the chaos of them. If you break it, you'll feel it. Nobody'll give out to you. There won't be any shouting and worrying. It'll be worse. It'll be silence. You'll know you've crossed the line. So this is heat and hierarchy, the unspoken rules of the kitchen. And there's lots of ones that are universal. Every country I've ever seen, or people I know from different places, wherever I've worked. And then there are some that are regional. So some of these might not apply to certain places. Some of them are applied to every place. And like that, there's certain rules that from certain places would apply that wouldn't apply here. And they change kitchen to kitchen. They really do. So we're going to dive into the ones I've picked. And as always, if you have comments, drop it on. And appreciate everybody who listens in on Spotify and all those who have started watching it on YouTube. So let's get into it. So the kitchen is not a free-for-all. It is a brigade, a chain of command built on respect. You don't go around the head chef. You don't go around the sous chef. You don't talk over the pass. You have to know your place. You do your job and you trust the system. I once worked with a young cook who decided to suggest a new plating to the head chef mid-service. Not quietly, not respectfully, right there over the pass. Busy Friday night. The look from the sous chef could have frozen steam. We didn't see that cook for another week. So there's a path to everything. There's a place and a time, and that's life as well, isn't it? Yeah. When you're in a busy service, you speak sharp, you speak short, you don't waste words. It's service. There's no poetry to it. It's we chef, heard, behind, hot. Yes, chef, no chef. It's fast. It's vocabulary. It's not chit chat. It's not about stories. It's sharp words for a sharp service. So, when I'm on the pass and I'm calling away tables and stuff, I'm not getting into a long debate with you about what I want. You're getting a table number, and it's yes and no, and it better be yes. Old head chef of mine used to say to me there was only 3 answers when he called for something, which was yes chef, no chef, and I don't know chef, and it better never be the last one, because that means you're lost. So, you've got to speak fast. You don't waste words. You use the minimum amount of words to get your point across. That's it. You're having conversation here. The pass. The pass is sacred. To anybody who looks at it, it's a fucking table with lights over it. It's the pass. It's the heartbeat of the kitchen. It's where the chef stands and calls out the dockets, the dishes and plates. If you put stuff onto the pass without it being called, you're gambling with your job. The pass is for what we're doing right this second, this table and only this table and all of it. And it's the centerpiece. Everything focuses in on this one table with lights, it's an important thing to be respected, and running a pass isn't the easiest thing in the world. You're probably one guy in the kitchen who doesn't move as much. You're not standing over a grill. You're not standing over the fryers. You know, it's also one of the most difficult places because it's all mental. It's you're standing there, you're plating, you're checking everything. You're keeping control of the pace of the kitchen. You set the pace, you set the tone. And if you're not good enough on that path, you crash your kitchen. You make it more difficult on all of your chefs. If you're good enough, you should make it easier on them, no matter how busy it is. Um, but you're the one that sets the pace. You're also the one that has to see everything, see what section in your kitchen is getting hammered, and how the hell do you help them out without having moved, just by moving dockets, just by the control, the speed, all of that. So it's not just stand there and call out dockets. It says a lot to us. Okay, you never burn your brigade. You know, every station is tied to another. They're all tied together as one, but they work in pairs or thereabouts. Your station partner is your lifeline. You've got to be on the same wavelength, the same place all of the time, because if they sink, you sink. Um, you don't steal their pans, you don't steal their garnish, you don't mess on their board. Um, in the middle of hell, your station buddy is the only one who's got your back, you know? So never burn them, you know? And I don't mean that in the literal sense. If you work in a place where there are shifts, so somebody comes on after you into the same section, whatever, you never leave a mess for the next guy, you know? And that includes finishing at night for the guy in the morning. You never leave a mess for the next guy. That's one hell of a way to start your day, you know? The next shift remembers, you know? Of course it does. Um, your reputation starts when you clock out, not when you clock in, you know? That's how you finish. This one is one that I would almost put down as very American rather than here, but it was one that was that I heard many a time. The walk-in is not a holiday. So the walk-in is a big ass fridge that you can literally walk into. For those that don't know, and chefs would go disappear for a short space of time just to get away from the madness. You, it, it was also called the multiple names, you know. Chefs used to go in there to give out, to scream, to shout, to fucking, because it's a box, and it's pretty soundproof to a level. Um, but I remember there was one place I used to work, and there was two chefs who used to come in. They were the morning chefs. It wasn't breakfast; it was a restaurant, but it was a busy one. They were always hungover, like I mean, fucking rattled, and they would spend half of their early morning shift inside in the cold rooms. Because apparently it helped. I don't know. Um, you know, we used to call them the kitchen ghosts. These two guys, because they used to disappear. You know, so and the kitchen has no patience for that. So timing matters. I'm Irish, and we have these thing of saying, "Yep, 2 minutes. Yep, I'll be there in 5." You won't be in a kitchen. No, 2 minutes means 120 seconds. A minute means 60 seconds. It's precise, it's exact. It's because the whole kitchen works off of a time. So when you're asked for a time and you give it, then everybody will work to that time. So you can't throw out random things of 2 minutes when you're going to be 10, 1 minute when you're going to be 5, or 5 minutes when you're 30 seconds away. Because the rest of the chefs are going to fucking lose their melt with you. And the head chef will definitely lose his melt with you, because timing is everything. You can make the most beautiful plate in the world, but if it's late, it's wrong, you know? Timing is respect for your brigade, your servers, you know, the waiting staff, and your guests. Service is a symphony. And if you play out of time, you ruin the song for everybody. It's imperative that timing is exact, you know? Very imperative. So when you give a time, it you know, If you've got something that takes 3 minutes, you better say 3 minutes, not two and not five. Because if you say two, the guy starts plating ahead of you. You say five. We're all sitting there waiting with our dicks in our hand, plate sitting up on the fucking table going cold. It's not good enough, So timing is everything. There's a lot of ones that are universal to individual chefs, and they're universal. Like, don't touch my knives. It was probably more prevalent when I came up through it than it is now, because one, a lot of kitchens actually have kitchen knives now, whereas they wouldn't have had years ago. They're generally not that great. They're not that sharp. All of that, but as a general rule, most kitchens have a set of kitchen knives, and I don't think chefs are as pernickety, maybe, about touching their knives. Maybe. But I have found that over the last number of years, strangely enough, less chefs own their own knives, which is something I find odd. I don't understand how I have more knives than I know. So I don't understand how you can work in a profession where it'd be like hiring a carpenter who doesn't have a hammer. Turns up and goes, can have a hammer and nails and stuff to do the job, or a plumber that needs a wrench. So I don't understand that in one aspect. I do in another, which is a lot of those guys are fly-by-nights. A lot of those aren't investing in themselves and in their future. It's very much living in the now, and more power to you. Do whatever you want to do. But that would be a universal one of, don't touch my knives, don't touch my mise en place. Your mise en place is your preparation, all of your stuff, which includes towels. Don't touch my fucking towels. I put my stack of towels for my service. Don't fucking touch them. I need them. Go get your own. Shit's hot. So, every chef has their favorite pan, favorite tongs, favorite, you get your own, you put it in your section, you organize it. Don't fucking touch my mess, when I set up my way. Don't fucking move shit. Nothing annoys a chef more, because when you work a section, and if you work it a lot, you like everything set up a very certain way. And it's down to muscle memory. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about where my spoons are for tasting, or where my tongs are, where my fish slice is. It's always in the same spot. So if somebody else comes into my station and moves stuff around, you're fucking with fire now, because I need my shit where I like my shit, And I'd be the same in every section. I recently did the grill one of the nights recently, and I set it up like I did when I actually started in the hotel 2 years ago, because I actually started in there, and I was on the grill section. And I just found it funny to myself, because I hadn't been on it in a while, and it was set up exactly the same way as it had been that time, and I like everything, And the guy that's on it now obviously set it to him, and more power to him. You do that, but yeah, you don't fuck with a chef's mise en place. Simple as that. And they'd be universal rules every place I've ever seen, every chef I've ever known. You won't get this everywhere, but for me, it's certainly in my list of it. But just stay calm. You will get burned. You will get screamed at. Hell, we'll all end up in the weeds. For those that don't know, in the weeds means you're in the shit. You're burning. You're crashing and burning. You need to be bailed out. It'll happen. The best of us. But if you're not careful, panic can spread like oil on a flame. But you got to keep your head when the orders are piling in, and your fryer goes up on fucking fire in the middle of a fucking Saturday night or Friday night service, and there's flames fucking coming out of it. Keep going. And I know you're thinking that would never happen. It did. Not that long ago, where a fryer went up in flames. I didn't stop. Why? Old kitchen's not going to fucking burn down. No place is steel. But somebody will burn themselves and have to step off the line. The grill will go down. Something will happen. That's the nature of the fucking beast. You can't let it bring your service down. You don't even stop. You just figure it out. Just figure it out on the move, you know? You stay calm. You earn your place, you know? You look after your tools, you know, your knives, your pans, your boards. They're more than tools. They're an extension of you. You need them. Um, you don't touch somebody else's knife without asking. Um, you don't put a dirty pan back on the rack. You know, these are, so I lost my train of thought. So it was just fucking keep going, right? You have to, you have to respect for your craft and you have to respect for the fucking heat. Kitchens are unforgiving and it will chew you up if you don't give it everything, you know? But if you respect the craft, the food, the people, the heat, it will give you back something no paycheck could ever. It's pride, not ego, pride. It is a wonderful thing to come out of work in an evening and be proud of what you did that day. You know, that that feeling that just fucking lifts your chest. You know, um, chefs, just as a general, work damn hard and don't. It's trade that doesn't get the respect it deserves. Right, as a general rule, we do the impossible with the improbable for the unforgiving. And we do it every single day. It's Tuesday evening. It's been a glorious day. I think it's high 20s today. Every chef that was working today, I wasn't, this dickhead was off, was inside in a fucking steel box surrounded by fucking heat while at 27 degrees outside. And then people will walk into a kitchen and go, oh, God, it's very hot outside. Hot outside. I'm standing here. It's 27 degrees outside. I'm standing next to fucking flames and heat and steam and hot boxes and fryers and fuck knows what else that just wants to cook me alive. You know, my balls are gone past medium rare and I've got sweat going down my back like it's Niagara Falls. And you want to tell me it's hot? Thanks. Um, you know, it's one of those things that annoys. I covered it in a previous episode of that will annoy the shit out of chefs, telling them it's warm. Really? Really? It's like asking a chef what's their favorite thing to cook. Fucking food, you know? But anyway, I digress. Let's get back on track. So, as I said, there's a lot of other rules that depends on where you're from. And then there's some, you know, as I said, don't ever put a dirty knife into a sink full of water. Or a clean knife. Don't put any fucking knife into a sink clean with water. Somebody will put their hand in and cut the shit out of themselves, particularly in a big kitchen knife. You know, and there's plenty of others, as I said, that would be to the kitchen, to the chef, to the region, to the country, that, you know, because they're unwritten and they're different depending on where you live and come up. And others will tell me they've never heard of some of mine and I've never heard of some of theirs. And that's fucking wonderful. That's what makes the world go round. But yeah, drop me some of yours. Comment underneath across the socials and let me know what some of yours were or ones you think I missed out on. Because there's plenty of guys out there that listen to me who are of the same ilk, the same age, we had the same training. So by all means, go, you missed this one. These rules aren't written on a wall someplace. They're written in scars, in burns, in muscle memory, in every chef who's ever stood on the line. You know, we learn them, we live them, we pass them on. Because in the heat and hierarchy of the kitchen, respect is the only currency that counts, you know? So that's my unwritten rules. As I said, if I've missed one or you think I should have mentioned another one or don't like one of the ones I put in, drop a comment. Give me your fucking list, you know, bullet point it. Let's break it down. Let's see how far around the world they're different, you know? So thanks for listening to this. Like it, share it. Tell your friends about it, you know? And I appreciate everybody who listens, everybody who's liked an episode, everybody who's given me a 5-star on a Spotify, to those that have given me the thumbs up on YouTube. So I appreciate it all, folks. And just remember, we'll keep changing the world one plate at a time. Keep on cooking, folks.